Good morning, Ellen.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
How's your tea?
It's not hot enough.
Oh,
How's yours?
that's good. Because I've got this like thermal mug thing.
Good.
Yeah. You don't want to make small talk.
No.
You're just like, let's get into this.
Yes.
Great. So we recently went on a backpacking trip, which was amazing. And we have a little vignette from the backpacking experience we wanted to share that I think speaks to people in our endless desire to understand people.
Yeah. And why we do what we do, why we care about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In some ways.
So we went backpacking here in Colorado, got 4 miles or so deep into the woods, up significant elevation change.
Alpine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alpine area and alpine lakes, which is where we like to go so we can swim and fish and hang out as a family. And, you know, when you're backpacking, if you're not familiar with backpacking, you get out to get away from people and cars and noise and phones and things like that.
Mm-hmm. You're trying to have like a very deep wilderness experience.
Yeah. And so fewer people go backpacking than camping, car camping, or just hiking because it's more work. You have to lug a 50-pound backpack on your back, everything, your food, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sleeping bags, tents. So we do this every so often as a family. It's one of our things. And we get way out there and we're exhausted. I'm looking for a campsite around, and I have a lot of experience because I used to lead backpacking trips for years. So I know what I'm doing and I'm looking around for the best campsite. And I think I find what is a great campsite, but I'm tired.
It was a great site.
It was. But I was tired. Looking back, I would make a different decision. But we wouldn't be recording this podcast if I made a different decision. Right. So maybe not. Anyway, we found a good spot, and it was really pretty, and it was next to this huge lake, massive lake. And no one's up there, basically.
Yeah.
So we're psyched. No one's up there. But pretty soon, some people come up, which is fine. You expect to see some other backpackers occasionally.
It's not wrong.
No, and we're in this huge valley, so there's tons of places to go.
Yeah. Massive place.
People could set their tent up anywhere.
Very expansive. There could be backpackers around that you never see.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because there's lakes, there's creeks, there's
trees,
mountains, there's trees, there's ridges. Like, you could be 100 yards from each other, but not even know, actually, because you could just go in different directions. Anyway, that.
Yeah. So these folks show up, a couple, interestingly enough. It's really cool to see another couple backpacking.
Yeah. And they're older than us, even.
Yeah. It was awesome. And they drop their packs. They're looking for a site, and they start to walk very close to our site. And there's no sites, by the way. With backpacking, there's no signs that say camp here.
No, you're just sort of figuring out where's like a flat area and
near water, but not too close because there's rules around that. So they, are kind of walking pretty close to us. And then eventually they set up their campsite, and we're like, whew. And they
the ones who went up the hill.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the ones who went up the hill set their campsite up behind a tree, so we couldn't even see them. Like Ellen said, it was like, oh.
Yeah, they were far enough away and behind trees, and so it's like, we're all having kind of our own private-ish experience. Yes.
But then, one at a time, they start walking near our campsite again, and at one point, the woman walks through our campsite, doesn't even look at us, and just walks through our campsite, like through our stuff. And we're just like, what is going on here?
Yeah. It was bizarre.
And then I'm like, should I say something? And I didn't say anything at that point. Another couple shows up and then sets their camp up in between those folks and us, and very close to us.
Yeah, we could see their whole setup.
I could throw a rock at their tent. It's that close.
Yeah. In the morning, I could hear their zippers. I woke up to the sound of their zippers opening their tents.
Yeah.
Like they were that close.
And we were the only 3 people in this entire massive valley with huge peaks around us. So there's tons of places to go, but for whatever reason, they wanted to set up near us.
Right near us.
Not only set up near us, but then start walking by us and then going to we had this little cute island near our lake section of the lake that we're calling our section of the lake.
Yeah, because we're camped out there. It's like our little scene.
Yeah, and there's tons of like shorelines that they could go to.
The others
not in our sort of backyard, but both people chose to go to our backyard.
Yeah, to this one point, they were fishing there. They were going to the water, getting water from there. And just really in our space is how it felt to us.
Totally. And so we started getting a little activated and then also started laughing, like, what is going on here? And because we study people, we're like, what do you think's happening?
It was bizarre backcountry etiquette. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And then, over the course of the day and next day, they both left the next day, but
yeah, thank goodness.
We had some time to just feel the impact of our experience with them. And you actually went and talked to them. We should maybe talk about that.
So I finally, just to live with myself, I had to say something because I also have the view in life that these things happen for reasons. So I'm like, okay, I'm not just going to be a victim here and like blame and shame them and let these people ruin my experience.
Yeah. You wouldn't just sit there and be annoyed for 24 hours. I might have done that because I was like, I don't want to deal with it. But you were like, we've got to say something, which I appreciate.
Yeah. So it was
the right thing to do
in our sort of backyard, even though of course it's not ours. So technically people can go anywhere they want, of course. But there was like zero sensitivity to that we were even there and they were just walking through our site. And so they didn't even look at us. So it was odd.
Yeah.
So they're down at the shore fishing, and I just said, okay, I got to say something. At this point, I'm like totally annoyed. And the woman had just walked through our site again.
Yeah, twice, actually, in that 5 minutes before you went to talk to them. Yeah.
So I go down to the shore and I say, excuse me, hey, I'm sure we're all trying to just have a good experience out here, and can you please not walk through our campsite anymore? And then she started just talking and explaining herself. Well, there's no. And I was like, hang on, it'd just be awesome if you would not do that. And she's like, well, we're leaving tomorrow. And I said, okay. And like, this is a large valley. There's a lot of room for all of us out here and lots of places to go. And that was basically the end of the conversation. So the
guy didn't even talk to you.
Acknowledge me, look at me, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were close to me. They were, 20, 30 feet away. And that was that.
Yeah.
So I could live with myself better. I was like,
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and it just is, to me, it's indicative of, these people I'm calling the misattuned campers. And misattuned meaning they were not getting that there's an impact of their behavior on other people. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the punchline here. And this is happening everywhere in our culture now, where people are just thinking about themselves and they don't think that their behavior has an impact on other people. There's literally, I think they were oblivious. I don't think they were even like, oops, I shouldn't do this, or
like, oh, I wonder if they're okay with that, or it was complete like lack of
like almost irreverence.
Yeah, just not even thinking that what they're doing might have an effect. And I think we were just like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Feeling like this is a little kind of symptom of what the larger culture is definitely dealing with in our society right now around just being very self-oriented and not thinking about other people because we don't think we need to.
Right.
I guess.
And it's interesting because generally you would think people who are into nature and the wilderness and the earth generally are kind of relational because they're like, oh, let's save the earth, or let's help the earth, or let's not pollute the earth. Let's help other people and the earth. So you could kind of almost assume there's a
that they might be more considerate or more attuned, maybe just like, where should we camp? Because we can't camp too close to the water. And we also have to think about lightning if there's a thunderstorm and wind and you have all these elements forces of nature that are acting on you and you're interacting with that you have to think about as you're out there.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes, that was a whole thing we were navigating too. And so I think we were surprised that people that we would imagine would have just some kind of more environmental awareness, at least, wouldn't also think like, oh, actually there's some people camped over there. Maybe we should give them a little more space and go find our own thing. Like, it just didn't feel like they were even aware of their surroundings at all.
Yeah.
And then we were just thinking about how so often this is an issue in the couples we work with or the families we work with, where people kind of think they can act, say, do kind of whatever they want when they feel like it and not have to have any repercussions from doing so. Or like, well, why should I have to think about you? I mean, we were out there and, people's toilet paper was left around. Like that was really upsetting to see that people were out there not actually taking care of themselves and the land in the way you need to. That people had made the effort to get that far away and still were thinking they could sort of get away with something that was going to impact either nature or other people in that area eventually. And so I think that was just a piece of the trip, was just like feeling the impact of others' lack of consideration.
Yeah. And there was even a little bit of beans and rice in the lake right by the shore.
Yeah. People had put some of their food in the water. I'm going to wash my bowl.
Dishes here and put beans and rice in this lake. And it, if you know anything about backcountry etiquette, that's like so not cool.
Yeah.
And again, you want to go up there and these lakes are so gorgeous and they're so pristine.
It's so pristine up there.
They're very untouched by people. And so they look different than a lake in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where there's like pollution and gas.
Yeah. The water's crystal clear and
it's so gorgeous. Anyway, and this is, we also see this, of course, and you listeners probably understand when you're on the golf course or you're hiking or at a park. Parks are a little different, but you want to get out and just listen to birds.
Yeah.
And the wind blow. And children laugh or something. And instead you're hearing someone's Bluetooth speaker blaring music that you don't want to listen to. And it's just, again, it's non-relational. It's inconsiderate. It's not thinking about other people. And I think this is, it's like, what's going on here? Well, chances are these people they're very self-focused, like Ellen was saying. They have a lower value on relationships and community, perhaps. They have a high value on doing what they want. And they might say things like, what? I'm just being myself.
What?
Doesn't Jayson promote being yourself on his podcast?
I can do what I want out here, right?
Yeah. And as Ellen's saying, in a couple, if we take this down to the micro of the couple, or a family, and we all just take this attitude, what? I'm just being myself. Like there's this obliviousness to the impact I have on you. And this, I don't care about your experience. Hey, I'm just going to do what I want over here. And when you get married or you enter into a family or a relationship, like, sorry, that you don't get to act like that anymore.
No.
There should be consequences if you are acting like that.
Yeah.
Like your relationship's going to end.
Yeah.
Or the other person's going to get upset.
Right. And we're also not talking about like walking on eggshells. Like, oh, so now I have to only think about other people or only think about everybody but myself. Like, no, we're not talking about that either. It's like, it's this both and of, okay, I want to be out in the backcountry, and there's also other people who want to be out there having an experience in nature too. And so what if I could be considerate of that? Or, I'm upset, and the way I talk to my partner right now is going to matter as to what the outcome is that we get. So I'm not going to say whatever I want to fucking say. I'm going to think about, okay, I want to say what I need to say, and recognize that there's a person sitting here that I care about in front of me that, if I can consider them, this is going to go a lot better.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to get to be myself, say what I need to say, and they're going to feel considered, and therefore we're going to get further. So it's like people taking care of their food or their toilet paper out there. It's like, just learn how to do that. Learn what it really means to take care of the environment that's around you, animals, plants, and the human beings. And then we all have a better experience, actually.
Yeah. If we follow the leave no trace and the backcountry etiquette and protocols, I think we're all going to have a great time.
Yeah. And I think in partnership too, it's not really a leave no trace policy, but it is like can I appreciate that how I treat you matters? Full stop. Like it matters all the time. Yeah. And we're not going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to say and do things we wish we could rewrite and redo. And therefore, we have to be really willing and good at repair so that we can do better next time. We can plan for these things and work together to make it feel good to everyone. It's like if the next day, actually, on our backpacking trip, 2 other sets of backpackers came through.
Right.
I think there were 2 sets of younger women, actually. Totally considerate. Yeah. Totally considerate, friendly, found spots that were dispersed. And when we did kind of walk by each other, it was friendly and respectful. And we just had a totally different experience.
They went to a different part of the lake to chill.
Yeah. It just, we were like, all...
these guys are kind of over there. Let's go over here.
Yeah, let's go over here. Like, just completely... what you would sort of expect, when you're walking down the street or you're sitting on a bus or, just respecting each other's space, being friendly, taking care to just, recognize each other.
Totally. Yeah. And back to just kind of the practicality of, partnership. Ellen was speaking to it a minute ago, is this principle we teach called standing for 3 or standing for we. Again, where it's a both and. I include myself because I want to do what I want. I want to be myself here. I don't want to feel like I can't be me, but I want to also be considerate of the impact of who I am on you. And then I also want to take a stand for you and being yourself.
Yeah.
And I hope and would expect that you're going to be considerate of the impact on me when you're being yourself. And then we're taking a stand for the relationship. That's the standing for 3, just as a reminder. You've heard us say that here. Yeah. Okay. So do we speak up when the person's blaring their music? I usually don't say anything because I'm like, this person just wants to do this.
Yeah. There's no...
It's like, it's like free country. I get to do what I want here.
Yeah.
It's a delicate thing, but I guess what I'm proposing or a proponent of is to remember other people. And remember the impact that what you do and where you go in the world and how you act has an impact.
Yeah. We're living together. We're sharing space in our home and even in the wilderness. And it just seems to go better for everyone if we keep each other in mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Just enough, at least, especially with strangers, like just enough so as to be able to live together in a good way. There's a lot of us.
Totally.
We're all really different, but we also are all human beings. And so a little respect and consideration, friendliness goes a long way.
Yeah. And you're probably that person in your apartment building or, you wouldn't be listening to this
podcast.
Your neighborhood. Because it's, again, this same thing kind of plays out in neighborhoods, right?
Totally.
Apartment buildings and co-housing situations. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for taking the relational position here.
Yeah. We need it. There's a lot of us here, 8 billion or so or something. So we actually need to keep working that muscle.
Yeah. Thanks, Sonny. Hey, quick interruption here. Imagine a career that draws on your passion for personal growth and relationships, that harnesses your ability to support, challenge, and connect with others, that helps you develop as a person while you help others at the same time. What if you could earn a living while making an impact on thousands of people's lives and even on the future of society and how we treat each other? It'd be pretty cool, right? Well, that job does exist. It's the job of a relationship coach. And I believe that the relationship coaches in the world are going to play a crucial role in the future of our culture, not only in the US, but abroad. 1 in 2 marriages still ends in divorce. 3 out of 5 Americans are lonely. We've got a serious loneliness epidemic and a looming mental health crisis that's, I think, already here. Couples that do well live 10 years longer than couples that don't. Okay. According to the Gottmans, 80% of couples are headed in the direction of divorce within their first 4 to 5 years of marriage. Yikes. Okay. Relationship stress is chronic disease. It creates chronic disease, in my opinion, from what I've read and the research I understand. I think it really hurts people everywhere. And I think the only way to really address this relationship, you could say relationship crisis, really, because it looks like a mental health crisis. It looks like a loneliness crisis. But we have to ask why. What is the root of this? Well, possibly how we raise kids. Possibly it's how we treat each other in our intimate, closest relationships. And the bottom line here is that people need help. They need your help. And our relationship coaches are slowly growing their businesses and doing well and feeling fulfilled and like they have a meaningful purpose and career where they get to work for themselves. So if you want to come be a part of this amazing training, you can apply right now. We're taking applications. That's open currently, and go to relationshipschool.com/RCT. if you want to apply and get an interview. We do offer a portion of scholarships to people that enroll if money is an issue, and it's a big investment. But if you think of the return on the investment, what you get out of this training, you are going to transform as a person, as an individual, and you're going to become a better partner, better parent, etc. And you're going to learn how to effectively help people with their relationship challenges, thus leading to less loneliness, perhaps, and less mental health challenges for people out there. Okay. So come apply for our amazing training, relationshipschool.com/RCT.